This is a video showing the free over-the-air channels, TV channels in my area, in the Detroit, Michigan area. And I did a video like this on another YouTube channel years ago, and it got blocked because of copyright stuff. Because for my purposes, I'm just trying to show I'm not trying to show copyrighted material. I'm just trying to show people what channels that you can get free over the air, at least in my area. I'm doing a channel search right now just to show some of the channels there, and then we're going to just flip the channels and show some of the content. And I encourage it, especially if you're someone who is interested in broadcasting like I am, on the history of broadcasting, and say if you're someone who just watches regular network shows, free channels, and you are fed up with cable TV, you're paying too much money. That was the case with me in 2014. I dropped my cable. I ended up buying a $30 RCA antenna, amplified antenna, so it has to be plugged in, which is one of the reasons I got all these wires all over the place. And it's actually way up there on top of one of my VCRs. It's not that long, but anyways, so what happened was I had cable TV. So you can see there, I'm getting like 63 channels, although some of these are repeated channels, like some home shopping networks, are repeated. And I think Start TV might be on 2 different channels. They have all these different sub-channels, which we'll talk about. But I was paying, $100 or so. This was almost 10 years ago for cable TV plus my internet. So I ended up dropping the cable TV part of the package after I went out and bought an antenna, unplugged my cable box, plugged in the antenna, and found that, most of the stuff I was watching, was just free anyways. So I might as well drop cable. So that's what I ended up doing about 9 years ago. And I'm a bit happy. I have a little small TV. It's not a big TV. In fact, right now it's hooked up to my DVD recorder, so it's not really showing in high definition. It's because I'm using those yellow and white and red RCA cables to hook it up. So if I wanted to record something on DVD, I could. So anyways, the channel search is done.
State law, which allows
I'm going to turn down the sound on some of these. Let's some of the volume. Now, the problem with, you can see it's kind of breaking up there. That's the problem with, antenna TV. When you, it sort of depends on which way the antenna is pointing, what kind of signal you're going to get. Sometimes the weather conditions, can adversely affect, And as you saw, I have my antenna way up high. So you want to keep your antenna up high to get the most amount of channels. But it all depends on location, too. And, of course, what type of antenna you buy. I don't recommend anything crazy, really. Like I said, mine was just a $30 antenna. Anyways, I'm just going to run through what the channels are. This is the local Fox network. This is channel 2, but it's technically called 2.1. And not Fox News, although it is an affiliate, sort of. They use Fox News, a national program. Clips and stuff, but this is the local news show. And most cities, major cities, will have local news on the networks of, Fox, CBS, NBC, and ABC. So this is the Fox 2 channel, and it has a lot of original programming of local stuff, like local news, rather. So what you're seeing here is just the local Fox Detroit news. And I believe if you go on the website, fox2detroit.com or something to that effect, you can actually just watch over the internet, wherever you are, a live stream of this programming, as well as other cities, other Fox affiliates across the country in the United States. Except only the local news stuff. They're not going to show like the regular, primetime programming on those websites. At least last time I looked, that was a couple of years ago. It may have changed. All right, so that's Fox 2. Now, this used to be CBS way back in the day until like around 1994. Fox ended up acquiring a bunch of CBS stations, and this was one of them. So they got a prime spot. They got Channel 2 in Detroit, whereas CBS was moved over to Channel 62, which is like the last channel that we'll be looking at in this video. Anyways, let's move on because we'll be here forever if we don't. We'll go to, there's 2.2, which is a channel called Movies, and which is all movies all the time. In fact, let's see what the, let's see, it's kind of breaking up there. Oh, the Flight of the Phoenix. Anyways, they play old movies. Usually it comes in a lot better than this, but maybe because I'm so close to the TV at the moment. Let's see, go to the next channel. Buzzer is a all game show channel. So if you love game shows, especially classic game shows, this is the channel. You know, it's like it's 24/7 of all game shows. There's some of the lineup for tonight. I'm recording this at 5 p.m. or a little after 5. It says 5:08. So just a couple hours before prime time. All right. Go to the next channel. 2.4 is Heroes and Icons. Now the only show on this channel that I watch, is, gotta remember to press the right button there to show the program guide. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. The only shows I watch on here are, let me pause this while I find the right button to press. I found it. It's up in the corner of the remote. You can see they have all Star Trek during prime time. So at 8 o'clock they play Star Trek, the original series. 9 o'clock they play Star Trek Next Generation. 10 o'clock they play Deep Space Nine. 11 o'clock they play Star Trek Voyager. And at midnight they play Enterprise, the one with Scott Bakula. And some other programs as well after midnight. Heroes and Icons, that's really the only thing. And they've been playing all Star Trek like every weekday for years and years. At some point I'm wondering if they're going to change it. I like the fact that it's on, because for a while there, a few years back, it wasn't, it was hard to find Star Trek on some of these channels. Let's see if I can, whoops. Oh, I know, you gotta hit that button. There we go. Now, Catchy used to be Decades, but they recently rebranded, and so now it's sitcoms all the time. But if you remember the Decades channel, this is what that was. They used to play Ed Sullivan, Dick Cavett, Smothers Brothers, and things like that. And they had an original show every weeknight called Through the Decades, where they would talk about a certain day in history and show clips from CBS News archives. But unfortunately, they decided to rebrand. 2.6 is a Fox weather channel. Let's see if that gives me some of the information, which I never actually watch because I can just watch local weather. 4.1, this is the local NBC affiliate, WDIV, and it's been around for years. And they play a lot of local news during the day. In the morning, you know, seems like pretty much all day except for like prime time and certain afternoon daytime slots. You know, that they'll have the, maybe there's some of the lineup there. Here's This TV, which plays various movies. Let's turn this up. This looks like an ad for the channel. Okay. So they're showing all the best bits.
Watch Jackie Chan in new police story on This TV.
Good night, you giant strapping hemorrhoid. Honestly, Paula, thank you so much for taking care of her for me.
Let's see. Let's,
I always do. Oh, also,
you can see a lot of paid programming coming up.
Everyone over the age of 40 gets to clap anyway.
Whoops. All right. Here's MeTV, which plays a lot of old TV shows. Saturday evenings, MeTV is great. Something I look forward to because they play the Three Stooges at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8. Then they have Svengoolie will play a movie at 8 o'clock. And then after that, it's like Star Trek and Buck Rogers and stuff like that. But anyways, MeTV is a cool channel. Actually, there's a Svengoolie comic that just came out, by the way, when I went to the local comic shop. This is Cozy TV, another channel that plays a bunch of old TV shows. You can see I'm going to lower the sound, I think, on this again. Now here's WXYZ. This is Channel 7 in Detroit. This is the local ABC affiliate.
I'm Carolyn Clifford, coming up all new tonight on 7 Action News at 6. A terrifying situation.
So this is an example of Channel 7's local news. This is probably the local news channel I watch the most, actually. They also have at 10 p.m. On Channel 20. Since ABC has run stuff at 10 p.m., they run the national ABC programming at 10, but they have a 10 o'clock newscast over on Channel 20, but it's still channels, they call it 7 on 20 or something like that, because a lot of these channels are sort of owned by the same companies. Okay, this is Bounce TV, which is their urban television is what it's called. Urban themed movies. And we'll look at the lineup there. There's some of the programming coming on tonight. Okay, this is Laugh TV, which is a bunch of like 90s, maybe late 80s sitcoms, things like that. Maybe even later. Let's see. Home Improvement, yeah, like 90s, that 70s show. And here's Court TV. This is 7.4. Now, one of the next channel, I can't actually pick up. Channel 9 is the next channel on the dial, but because of the position that my antenna is in at the moment, it doesn't come in. But it's the local CBC Canadian affiliate is Channel 9, and it doesn't have any sub-channels. So we're going to skip past Channel 9, but you will see some interesting things coming up here. Whoops. Oh, this is just a home shopping network, Channel 7.5. So like I said, we skipped Channel 9. Now then there's this low power station called Channel 15.1. This is a country music channel. So it just plays country music videos all day. And then 15.2 is an unusual channel. Well, sometimes it has weird sound issues. This channel does. But they play a lot of local. They'll play like a radio show that has sort of a TV simulcast. And they have ads on here saying things like, do you want to have your own TV show? Contact us, blah, blah, blah. I think it's owned by R.J. Watkins, who used to be involved with Channel 62 before CBS bought it, if I remember correctly. WGPR it was called. Anyways, I don't know if they have a actual listing. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have an actual program guide. Anyways, this is an odd channel that sometimes you turn it on a weekend, it'll be like Nation of Islam stuff and all sorts of unusual programming, stuff you don't normally see on TV, especially these days.
Only 15 of these. It's going to
Here's another shopping channel, but it's the volume on this one is really loud. Okay, Channel 15.4, another shopping channel. And then Newsmax 2 is what this is called. So Newsmax is the conservative news channel. Now the thing was, for just recently, this was off. I had noticed, you know, a lot of times Newsmax will just, Newsmax 2 is what it's called, not the main Newsmax channel, but it's a spin-off channel. They'll play a lot of weird old documentaries, you know, like they look like public domain documentaries, stuff about Hitler or aliens, and, you know, all sorts of weird stuff. But I noticed recently that there was a coin channel on this station instead, where they were selling coins. It was like RCP or something like that it was called. And then recently I noticed, I was like, oh, Newsmax 2 is back. There we go. Just for the weird documentaries is the only interest for me in this channel. Let's see if we can get the volume up there. I think just for the fringe aspect of it. Oh, this looks like some talk show though. Typical Newsmax stuff. Anyways, let's go to the next channel. This is another hard to get in channel. This looks like a religious channel, 18.1. Which, let me see, I think I wrote this down. See if I can find it here. I'm just looking at a list of... I don't think I listed it here. I just noticed this channel 18 coming in recently. WDWO. And something should be coming in. This is a hard channel to get in. Let's see what's coming on this channel, though. Here's some of the programming on it. LX News. So I don't know what that is exactly. It's like probably another kind of odd news channel. Okay, that doesn't come in too well. 18.3 is like a whole bunch of Dateline NBC documentaries. You can see there is the list of them. But again, it doesn't come in too well. 18. I'm sure if I moved my 18.4 doesn't come in at all. It looks like 18.5. What's this one? This looks like another news thing. Let's see what this is. TBD. Huh. So this is the thing that kind of fascinates me about broadcast TV. You have all these weird, you know, channels. Anyways, I'm not going to test our patience here anymore. But I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but some news channel. Okay, 18.6. That's a different channel. Law and Crime. Okay, let's move on. 18.7. Something. Looks like probably home shopping. Okay, let's move on to... Now, this is an interesting channel. This is TVO, which is TV Ontario, a Canadian station. Now, prior to 7 p.m., they play all just kids shows, and then after, so see where it says Ravens Quest and stuff like that. Then after that, like the agenda comes on at 8 o'clock. That's an interview program, and then at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, they usually play documentaries. Sometimes they play British documentaries, like BBC shows. I like Fake or Fortune and The Art Detectives. Those are two British shows that they play. Anyway, TV Ontario, and during the day it's called TVO Kids. You know, it's all kids stuff. Channel 20, back in the day this used to be WXON. Now is My TV.
Check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/couplescourt. Promotional consideration provided by.
Let's see what. See, this is the. See how it says 7 Action News at 10, right there at the 20, right below Law and Order. That's what I was talking about before. Where Channel 7 will have a news show on Channel 20. This is Antenna TV, I believe. It looks like, I think. Should say, but yeah, I believe this is Antenna TV, which is just old sitcoms and stuff like that. 24/7. This is another channel. I think this is mostly CSI. You know, all this stuff is free with the, you know, purchase of the antenna. Like I said, I only had to pay $30 for it, and that was like 9 years ago. So here's Ion, which plays things like, well, Chicago Fire. You can see that's all they're playing. Let's get past that. Here's Court TV, which is also on 7.4, I think, that we already saw, but it's repeated on this channel, 31.2. Grit TV, 31.3, just plays westerns all day. Okay, we're going to skip past that. Defy TV, like reality shows. So this is Counting Cars. Skip to the next one. Scripps TV. Now this used to be Newsy. It's a 24-hour news channel. But they recently rebranded to call themselves Scripps News. Unfortunately, I don't watch them that often because they seem kind of boring to me anyway. No offense. Let's see, there's the lineup. See, it's kind of boring content to me anyway. It's not very exciting. Get TV, which is old TV shows. Get TV used to be interesting when it first started, but it's kind of just another rerun channel. Another Home Shopping. More Home Shopping, 31.8. And yet more Home Shopping, 31.9. All right, 38 is WADL, which is a channel based out of Mount Clemens, Michigan. I remember years ago, back, you know, like 1990 or something like that, I used to watch The Prisoner and Wise Guy on here. And they would play Crime Time after Prime Time, which was like CBS's. Oh, you notice they skipped 38.2. So for some reason, 38.2 is not on here. But WADL is a long-time channel. It's just an independent channel is what it is. Quest TV is just reality programming. 38.4, more Home Shopping. The Word is one of WADL's main channels. It's a religious thing all day, 24/7. It's apparently very popular. 38.6 is crime, it says. So again, more like Dateline documentaries, stuff like that. True crime, it's called. Another Home Shopping network. SBN is, I think, Jimmy Swaggart's channel. If you remember Jimmy Swaggart, the televangelist from the 1980s, well, he's still alive. His son Donnie is preaching. SunLifeTV.com, it says there. So they have their own channel, so there's no info available. But anyway, it's oddball stuff. You know, to me, it's sort of like listening to shortwave radio. You know, suddenly, like if you ever listened to Dr. Gene Scott back in the day. Okay, channel 50 is it used to be, oh, it still is, WKBD TV, an independent station. Back in the 70s and 80s, they would play Star Trek and Creature Feature and stuff like that. But these days, they play mostly, you know, regular shows. Although they do have a 10 o'clock newscast right there, Detroit Now News. Let's see if it goes to no, it's just another commercial. 50.2 is all science fiction. I think it's owned by a certain, like, Universal or some state, some, you know, producer of content has this serve as a dumping ground for all their science fiction TV shows from the 90s, and sometimes they'll have like Godzilla marathons and things like that. It's not that interesting to me though. 50.3, this is Charge TV, sort of like action. But as you can see, they're playing a lot of CSI at the moment. Okay, 50.4. TBD, I think it's sort of like viral videos and things like that. You can see now it's Wipeout, Fear Factor, and World's Dumbest Criminals, I guess, and things like that. 50.5 is Smart TV, which is like women's drama. Let's see here. There's the lineup
You still thought you had to follow through?
for tonight.
It wasn't gonna hurt her.
This is also repeated on 62.2. For some reason, it's on both channels. This actually replaced a country music channel called Circle TV, if I recall correctly. Another home shopping channel, 50.6. 56.1 is the local PBS affiliate, WTVS. You can see they're playing Doc Martin right now, the British television show starring Martin Clunes. There's the lineup for tonight. They have PBS NewsHour, which I always watch at 6 o'clock, or at least I try to. And then at 6:30, I switch over to one of the network evening newscasts, usually ABC. PBS Kids is 56.2. And it's all kids, educational kids shows 24/7.
PBS Kids has lots of friends.
So there's a little promo for it.
Really friends.
So if you have kids, you don't want cable, well, at least there's something educational to watch.
Caring friends.
24/7, like I said.
So many
Usually every
fun never ends.
TV market that has a PBS station will have this channel, this sub-channel. Okay, we're going to switch to the next one, Create TV. It's sort of a lifestyle programming channel. They do have Rick Steves travel programs on here, which I like. Here's some of their Rick Steves comes on at 6.
Doesn't get fresher than this. Bringing together the country's most innovative chefs and food artisans to create
All right.
what's best described as a culinary jam session.
So that's what Create TV is like. And again, it's probably in a lot of... this is another PBS station. This is World TV, which has sort of like documentaries. They repeat a lot of PBS programming like Frontline and Ken Burns documentaries and things like that. But they'll also have sort of a focus on minority voices, like America Reframed. So there's documentaries, from a more of an ethnic perspective on this channel. Take a look at the, you can see there's an episode of Nova. And they repeat the PBS NewsHour at 10 o'clock. So it's the same, I think it's the West Coast version of the show. So PBS NewsHour comes on at 6 here in the East Coast, but it's repeated for the West Coast with an update by Stephanie Sy, who's sort of the West Coast anchor, I guess. And so I think that's what that's a repeat of. Here's BBC World News America, which is a half-hour show. I'll just show a little bit of that. France 24 is like it's an English language show that's based in France. They also have like a Japanese news program as well. In fact, let's see if we can, if that comes up. Yeah, NHK Newsline is a Japanese based, but again, it's English language. And let's just see we're getting near the end here. Because there's only 56, and then there's 62, and that's the end of the line for the...
And now, BBC News.
I'm Sumi Somaskanda in Washington, and this is BBC World News America. Former U.S. President Donald...
56.5 is the Michigan Learning Channel, which is educational, homebound education. There's the lineup. Again, they're playing Nova later tonight. So they play more adult stuff later in the prime time. But a lot of times they'll be just like, people with, puppets showing kids stuff. Here's Channel 62, the CBS affiliate. They used to not have a local news thing on here. They would just play like Family Feud all the time. But finally they set up a CBS News Detroit program. And so there's a lot of that, although they do play a lot of Family Feud still. So there's the Channel 2's lineup for tonight. CBS Evening News comes in at 6:30. That's the national broadcast.
Here's a look at current conditions around the area. We did have some clouds
move in this afternoon. They are going to move out eventually. 77 in Lapeer right now, 75 in Pontiac and Detroit. And for tonight, we're expecting a low near 62 degrees. We will see these clouds moving out.
Let's go to the next one. There's Start TV again. It's repeated. Like I said before, it's on 50.4 or something like that. DABL 62.3. This is a lifestyle channel. Right now they're playing Escape to the Country, which is a British show, I believe. And finally, Fave TV, which is like a bunch of sitcoms. And not that great.
I know that butt anywhere. That's Emma Peel. Those are Peel cheeks.
Okay, there's the
Emma Peel's the one who wore the really tight jumpsuit and kicked really high, thereby allowing us to see every single.
Well, that's it. That's the overview of Detroit area television, ending with Married with Children, talking about the Avengers. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video doesn't get blocked. Like I said, I'm just trying to show, you know, we'll go back to channel 2. That's the beginning that we were at. And thanks for watching.